Sorry. Hello, everyone. Courage Nito here, presenting the study of patterns from EPU 4. Um, so yeah, let's get it started. So, study of patterns. So, what are patterns? Patterns essentially are a set of arrangement that tends to repeat, right? So, when we think of that, a few examples would be a honeycomb, or something that will be tackled later on would be the Fibonacci sequence, right? And that's a very it's probably the most precise um, example of patterns, but more on that later, right? So to say the least, patterns are absolutely everywhere. Um, it could occur in nature, well, even in our tests, in our exams, tests. Math is a form of pattern, right? So, to say the least, it's absolutely everywhere. But to name a few types would be here, as you can see, would be these three. I think these three are the most common ones. One would be the logic patterns, two would be the geometric patterns, and three would be the word patterns. So, logic patterns, just by looking at this figure right here, we could already see that this is a very familiar pattern. As I said, these patterns are everywhere and it could be even seen in our exams, right? And if you took an entrance exam back when you were in high school, or probably when you're in college now, you would be tackling these types of problems, the- uh, these types of problems, right? Where it basically asks you what the next shape is, right? Given this particular context, right? So just from that, we could probably guess what logic patterns are. It's essentially patterns that take into account our logic and tests us if whether or not our logic is subpar or not, right? So yeah, moving on, the next example would be the geometric patterns. So um, this is an example, but if I were to give another example, it would be architecture, right? Architecture in general uses a lot of geometric patterns. An example of which would be different buildings present in our very own campus. Um, Miguel has a very good architectural and really utilizes the patterns. All the facilities in LaSalle has definitely shows definitely good shows definitely shows rather good geometric patterns, right? So essentially what they're patterns to make some sort of some to show some sort of aesthetic beauty or art, right? So that's pretty much it. The next and last would be the word patterns. I think this is the most fitting, considering that this particular chapter tackles how math is quite related to the English language. If you were to take in, if you were to look at it in the lens of someone who speaks a particular language, right? So um, word the word patterns is an umbrella term actually for the different patterns present in languages, considering that there are a lot of them, right? And to name a few would be one, rules on plagiarizing nouns, two would be conjugating verbs or tenses, and three would be pointing out the silent letters in certain words, right? So that's pretty much it. Thank you for listening. Um, See you in the next video.